Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Burns, and welcome to episode 3 of the Tom Burns WWE show. Now, apologies about no episode last week. Busy week with work last week, very stressful week with work as well, so I decided not to do an episode because I had a day off, a day after Raw last week, Tuesday. I've been working the Monday. I watched Raw that night. It's on at 1 in the morning to about 4:15 in the morning over here. So I watched it live that night. And then I thought, should I do an episode? I thought, no, you know what? I'm just going to have a day off. I'm just going to chill out. Because I've been working like constantly for the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Very stressful shifts, everything like that. So I decided not to do an episode like I would usually on the Tuesday. But I'm here to do an episode today, and as I said, apologies for not doing one last week. But I will talk about everything I would have talked about in the episode if I would have done an episode last week, and plus what's happened this week as well. So let's start off with the New Day and the Wyatt rivalry. The New Day. It's an interesting rivalry. This is because the New Day, that it's showing the first signs of cracks in their, in their friendship. It's the first cracks. I mean, for near on 2 years, the New Day have been a team. There's been no cracks shown. They're just all about positivity. They're not. They've not shown any danger of splitting up. That they've shown that they're tight. Last week on Monday Night Raw, Xavier Woods really put the Wyatts over by selling them as a legitimate threat. And he walked out of the ring and walked out on his New Day teammates, Kofi Kingston and Big E. And I was quite shocked. Well, I wasn't shocked. Well, yeah, I was shocked. I hope the WWE don't split the New Day up because I don't think it's time yet. I think there's a time and a place when you split a team up. And right now would not be the right time to split the New Day up because the New Day is still so popular. So it wouldn't be the greatest idea to split the New Day up. The WWE made a mistake splitting the Shield up. It was not the right time. The Shield was still so popular. They didn't have anything else left to prove, but they were still so popular that it was not the right time to split them up. But, it's actually worked out for the best when the Shield split up. Anyway, so yeah, and then it was advertised that the New Day would be going to the Wyatts' compound, and apparently it happened over the weekend. And they showed what happened at the compound with the New Day and the Wyatts on Monday Night Raw. But I'll get to that in a minute when I come and talk about Monday Night Raw yesterday. We'll continue last week. So, moving on to the John Cena AJ Styles rivalry. Enzo and Cass are now involved. AJ Styles made a point. I knew someone was going to come out to save John Cena because AJ Styles had made a point in every time he spoke, whether one of the interviewees was interviewing him or whether he was just backstage speaking to the members of the club. He was really hammering home the point that John Cena has no friends left in WWE. No one is willing to help him. And then when they came out, then when John Cena said, "Come on out, club, I'm ready to fight you, 3-on-1." He then AJ had a mic and he then hammered home the point again that, John, look, you've got no friends, no one's going to come out and help you, and we're just going to come and beat you up. And I thought to myself, they're really hammering home the point of that he has no friends left and that no one's going to come out to help him. So I thought, well, someone's going to come out to help him. I was hoping it was going to be some kind of return of someone. I don't know who, but someone. No, but it didn't turn out that way. It was Enzo and Cass. Which I'm not disappointed with. I mean, Enzo and Big Cass needed a new rivalry, and I'm quite happy with the match at Battleground. I'm glad that they're saving the next one-on-one match between AJ Styles and John Cena for SummerSlam. That's where it deserves to be saved for, because it's a WrestleMania caliber match. But it will be good on SummerSlam, at SummerSlam. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Um, we're going to move on now to Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks, really the rivalry really heating up between her and Charlotte. It's obvious that they're going to be going one-on-one at Battleground, her and Charlotte, but some kind of shenanigans is going to happen, and Charlotte's going to retain her title. Dana Brooke is going to get involved somehow, and Charlotte's going to retain the title because they're going to leave Sasha winning the title so she can have a big moment at SummerSlam. That much is obvious. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say about Sasha from last week. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much else to really talk about what happened last week. Shane is definitely, neither of them were at last week's Raw. One more thing to talk about last week. Vicky Guerrero, that week's old general manager that returned, and I actually was happy to see her. And I've never said that about Vicky Guerrero before, but I was. I think the WWE treated her wrongly to say that she's the wife of the late great Eddie Guerrero. They really didn't treat her rightly, and they should have done. They should have treated her with respect, and they shouldn't have treated her the way they did. So I was happy to see her back, although it only be for that night. I'm happy to see her back. I was happy to see her back for that one night, and she hasn't lost her skill on the mic at all. So yeah, it's really it for last week. Of course, the 12-man tag 6-on-6. Zack Ryder picks up the win for Team USA. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much else to say. The food fight at the start of the show was lame. It's been done so many times. That's pretty much it for last week. Moving on to this week, it's fresh in my mind so I can remember more. I apologise if there's anything I missed from last week's Raw that you wanted me to talk about, but it was a week ago and I've watched another Raw since then, so a lot of what happened last week has gone out of my mind. So this week, we're going to talk about the AJ Styles John Cena rivalry again. AJ Styles again it was hammering home a different point this week by saying John Cena doesn't care about you, Enzo and Cass. He doesn't care about you. He's off in LA. He isn't gonna come out and save you. It's not gonna happen. And judging by the reaction that John Cena got when he came out and everything, and I was shocked. No one, and I mean no one, thought that John Cena was there. He must have flown over especially to be there because everybody was saying he was still in LA because he's hosting the EPSES, is it? EPSES? I don't know. I think it's the EPSES. It's like a sporting award ceremony. And no one thought he was going to be there. And when John Cena's music hit, I thought, it's just a distraction so Cass can get Enzo Amore out of the ring. But no, John Cena turns up and proves that he actually just cares about his teammates. Disappointed with how that match ended between the club and Enzo Amore, but then again, if there would have been a definitive winner there, it would have kind of been a big giveaway who's better than who. So I'm glad they didn't do a definitive finish. We're going to move on to the Rollins report. I actually found it quite funny. I mean, you can obviously see that they never had that interview because Roman Reigns is still holding the WWE title, for God's sake. So he's taking clips from when Roman Reigns was interviewed ages and ages ago. Everybody knew that it was a sham, it was a joke, but it was quite funny, quite amusing. And I hope there's more on this report. I think that's a great new feature. What else did we have? Sasha Banks yet again, the rivalry heating up with Charlotte. She beat Dana Brooke on Raw, and Charlotte afterwards grabbed the mic and said, "You've not proved yourself worthy of a championship match for my championship yet." Faced Dana Brooke again on SmackDown on Thursday. The final SmackDown that's going to be on Thursday. She didn't say that, but that's what it's going to be. Face Dana Brooke again on Thursday, and if you can beat Dana Brooke, then maybe, just maybe, you will have deserved you would have deserved. You will be deserving of a match against me for the championship. So yeah, very interesting. And of course, the big announcement, the commissioners of Raw and SmackDown. I personally think they should be the other way round. Now, I don't understand it. I mean, you can see by the ratings when Stephanie and Triple H were in charge, they were dipping, they were dipping, they were dipping. They were really dipping. Whereas when Shane's come back, they haven't been great, don't get me wrong, but they haven't been. Well, actually, they were a record low the other week. But the majority of the time, they haven't actually been as bad as they were when Triple H and Stephanie were in charge. So to put Stephanie in charge of the flagship show yet again is a big error. I believe it should be the other way around. Shane should be Raw, Stephanie should be SmackDown. I don't know what the future holds now for the WWE and for Raw, but I do believe that SmackDown is going to be the better show, and it's going to give me a reason to watch SmackDown now, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, very good to see Vincent Kennedy McMahon back. Very good to see him back. That's it. I've really got nothing else to talk about. I hope you enjoyed this episode of, well, kind of double episode of the Tom Burns WWE show. I will return next week on Tuesday to do another. It might be it could be Tuesday or Wednesday. It's going to be one or two of them days when the Tom Burns WWE show is a new episode of Tom Burns WWE show is going to be coming out. I will see you next week either on Tuesday or Wednesday. Thank you for joining me for the latest episode 3 of the Tom Burns WWE show. Bye bye.